good morning. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Chanel Steenkamp. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, like, hit the bell, and comment, please. If you're new today, I want to do like a kind of like a background story of like how I got to CPUT. So I matriculated in 2019, right? And then 2020 or in 2019, I applied at Nelson Mandela. Like, that was the only institution I wanted to go to. I applied at Nelson Mandela for accounting. I wanted to do accounting, to become a chartered accountant. And then, as I was applying, my mom was like, no, I shouldn't do accounting. Like, she felt like I wanted to do accounting because most of my friends were going to the accounting route. But the truth is, accounting was nice. And at that time, I had a lot of passion for accounting. So she was like, no. And then I stopped applying. So the only institution at that time that I had applied for was Nelson Mandela. And it was purely based on the fact that Nelson Mandela was my number one option at that point in my life. And then I then told her that, okay, since she didn't want me to do accounting, I wanted to go become an au pair for a year as my way of doing a gap year. When I told her that, my mom was like, you're not going to a different continent, like a different side of the equator, hours away from me. And at that point, she felt like I was not responsible enough. Yeah, like she felt like I was not responsible enough. I was still too young. And then she then was like, okay, we'll have this conversation when you get your results. My results came out in January 2020, right? And I had passed very well. Like, I had 3 distinctions, and she was happy. I was happy. I've worked hard and all of that. Then my mom was like, I should do like a paramedic course for 6 months, so that if I want to go do my accounting, I have a backup. Because she had this assumption that like there's not a lot of jobs, all of that. So it was kind of like, you know, when you're fresh from matric and you also don't have your proper information. So I didn't have proper information to actually tell her that, actually, mama, the job availability is this and this and this. So I couldn't back up why I wanted to become an accountant. And she was also like, but when you grew up all along, you wanted to become an astronaut, you wanted to become an engineer, like, you know, you always wanted something in like in science. So why all of a sudden you want to become an accountant? And she was like, nope, you're being influenced. You're being influenced. That's not what you want. So forth and so forth. So because I had already applied at Nelson Mandela for accounting, she had to make phone calls at colleges, trying to find like any paramedic course or any short course that I could do. And then she called Lebone. Lebone were like, they do have paramedic courses, but she needs to call UJ. At that time, that's the only thing I knew I was going to do, paramedic. And then my mom called UJ. And then she explained to them that, like, I have a daughter at the side of her marks. She wants to do like paramedic course. And then they were like, oh, okay, cool. Can you give her, okay, so they had a 1-year program, which was the higher certificate. They had the 2-year program, which is the diploma, and that's the paramedic. And they had the 4-year degree program, which is an ECP. So my mom gave them my matric results, and they were like, actually, because my mom was like, put her on the 1-year one or the 2-year one, because she didn't explain to them that actually this child doesn't want this course. So she was like, put her on the 2-year one that she can finish quickly, especially because we are cash paying. And then they were like, oh no, she has good marks, and like she should come to the degree one. I don't know how they convinced her. I was not even on that call. And they applied for me for the degree program. I didn't know that I was about to enter hell, like inside the pit of hell. If someone says, would I want to go to hell, I would say no, because I've seen hell with my literal eyes. Because the 4-year degree program at UJ was hell. Okay. It was a hell. Like, Okay, so they then told my mom that the following day I had to come to Joburg to do the physical requirement and an interview. We went to We went to Joburg. When we got to Joburg, I did the physical requirements. I didn't even understand. And they were like, "No, it's not so bad." Like, cause I met this other guy who was like a student there. Like, I think he was in his third or fourth year. So I asked him, I was like, "Why are we running?" Like, and he's like, "Nah, it's just to make sure that you're physically fit. It's not that bad. You will make it." If he had been honest with me, I would have ran. So we did those physical requirements, and after the physical requirements, like, we had to run from like ground floor to seventh floor. I don't even know how many laps we did. Like, we're just running on the ramps, push-ups, sit-ups. Mind you, I didn't even do any sports in my high school. Hi, sharp. There we were like doing all of those things, and then they were like, I had an interview. Obviously, I can't get to the interview and be like, my mom wants me to become a paramedic. I got there, I was like, hey, I've always wanted to become a paramedic. Like, it's something that I've always wanted, and you know, I have a passion for healing people. Oh my God, that time I'm scared of my own blood. Like, the lies I lied in that interview. Hi, sharp. I got into the institution, and then that was like my first year. Oh, and then they were like, the following week we have to go to TLC. Guys, TLC is this difficult camp. It's like we're in infantry school. It's so hard. There's a bell that's tempting you. They're like, if you can't do this, you need to ring the bell, and they will take you home. I can't ring the bell because my mom is gonna flip and be disappointed in me, because why are you ringing the bell? Like, can't you run? Because my mom is gonna ask me that, like, can't you run? Like, just open your legs and run. Hey, so I persevered in that camp. Like, I persevered. And after that, I got into UJ. I was a student at UJ studying emergency medical care. My first year, I didn't actually feel it because there was COVID. We all went to online learning. There was no running. There was nothing because everything was online. You can't run online. You can't swim online. So I passed all my first year modules. I went to second year. That was 2021 now. When I got to 2021, things were a bit difficult, especially on the physical aspect part for me. So when I got to 2021, everything was okay. Like, I was passing all my modules. I didn't fail any theoretical modules. I failed the running. And that was when, like, everything came, it was trembling or whatever. It was falling. Like, everything was just falling down, because now I failed running, and I've never failed. Like, I've never failed in my entire existence, and here I was failing running. I was so depressed. Like, I genuinely didn't know what to do. I remember, like, consulting with people. People were like, you need to start taking steroids. Some were saying that I need to do blood infusions, like doping my blood. Some were like, I need to run with an asthma pump. I was so depressed. I was looking for any solution for me to be able to pass the run, because I was like, I need to pass this degree in record time. I'm from a family of overachievers. There's no varsity dropout. And how do you explain to your family that you failed running? It doesn't make sense. Anyway, the truth of the matter is I failed the run. I tried everything and I still failed. Okay, I didn't go to steroids and doping because I felt like, for sure they have long-term effects. At that time, that's what I felt, right? And that's what I thought. I then went to third year, but I was repeating a second year module, which was physical fitness. So physical fitness, it's the running, the swim, and the arm hang. So it meant that I was now in 2022 doing a third year, and I had failed a second year physical fitness. So I was in between the years, and third year for me was traumatic. I don't want to lie, because now I had to make sure that I passed the physical fitness, or else I was going to get an academic exclusion. I was traumatized most of it. I was truly traumatized. Yeah, like I didn't even know what to do. I was starving myself. I was trying everything just to lose weight. I remember my friend TK. That guy, he made Sadie look a bit easy. He would go with me running. Oh, and there was Zonisani. He was my shift partner as well. He would go running, and everyone was trying to help me. But also now I was depressed. And one thing I've noticed is the brain has a lot of power. If you're truly depressed, you're not in the right state. Even if you've lost weight, because I was thinner than I am now, and I still couldn't run, or I couldn't make the time that I'm making now, and I failed my run. Yo, guys, I faced academic exclusion, and I was truly depressed. I don't even want to lie. That was the true depression. If I thought second year was depressing, third year I was depressed. I remember everyone would ask couldn't you run? I couldn't. I truly couldn't. And everyone was like, so now you feel run and then everyone was expecting me to be at fourth year now. I failed. I got an academic exclusion. I have to appeal for running. Do you understand how crazy that sounds? I was so stressed. Mind you, now I'm in third year. I've already fallen in love with this course, and I feel like I've gotten too far to give up now. I no longer had passion for accounting as well, because obviously out of sight, out of mind, right? So I was no longer doing accounting. Everyone around me was doing health. I was surrounded with people who were doing health module, and I remember there was one point in my life where I felt like, okay, now maybe dying isn't a bad option, because how am I gonna face everyone when I failed, And lucky for me, I appealed my academic exclusion and I got approved. And then the other thing is, I used to go to church a lot, so at church it was a bit easier. There's a student fellowship, right? At UJ, there was a student fellowship at UJ, and it's still there. It really helped me, because I would speak to some of my friends from church, oh guys, I'm facing this, I'm so depressed. And I remember my chairperson by that time was Arnold, and I would always tell him yo, I'm so depressed, I genuinely feel like dying. I was I have so much great sadness in my heart. I don't even know what to do with it. I feel like a complete failure. And the other thing that was stressing me was the fact that I was when I get home, I'm gonna be one of the few people who don't make it in record time. And the other thing was knowing how people think. Not most people know about my course, right? So when you get home and you tell them that you failed running, it sounds like you're lying. It sounds like you found a boyfriend at race, you started capitaring, you lost focus, now you are dollaring, you are failing, you are into politics, the way that I was living my life, and the fact that I failed running, to them it didn't sound like that. Plus already the way a lot of talks, okay, when are you finishing? Yeah, guys, if we it's just that now I just want to finish this conversation, because if we were to go into detail, the talks were so painful. I think the talks were more painful than the fact that I had failed, because now they were yeah, for sure you are clubbing. I'm always at SF. When do I club? I'm always at student fellowship. And I was so sad. I was genuinely so depressed. I remember there was a point in my life at that year, you would enter my room and you'd find clothes laying on the floor. You'd find my room was always a mess. I couldn't even think. I didn't even see anything wrong with it, by the way. I would get embarrassed when people would come to my room, but at that point in my life, I genuinely didn't care. I remember my commune mate was to me, Chanel, you've changed in 2021, 2022, your room was always so clean, so organized. Hey, how do you organize a room when your brain is not even organized? When the only thing in your brain is okay, if I analyze myself, that is a sin. That was the only thing in my brain. I was thinking about the fact that if I die, that is me committing a sin, and God is not going to forgive me in the afterlife. So I was like, you know what, let me just die of sadness. You know, when you have so much sadness, people die. I was like, let me just die of complete sadness. Let me be so sad that dying would be like a natural death, because at this point I can't do it myself. And then I appealed for my academic exclusion. 2023, I was repeating because I still had a second year module. At that point, I genuinely was thinking of other options now in the health department. I was like, okay, maybe, or health faculty. I was like, maybe if I can go to radiology, maybe if I can go to nursing, because also I wanted to stay at UJ. Like, my other friend was telling me, no, there's CPUT, there's Nelson Mandela, and DUT. The three of them all have emergency medical care. So she was like, you can apply at those institutions instead of you changing the course that you're doing, and you've already fallen in love with it. And at that point, I was like, nope, guys, I can't leave UJ. You know, institutionalism had a chokehold on me, because now I kept on thinking about the fact that you can't leave UJ, like one of the top 5 institutions, you know. That's the only thing I had. And you don't even think about your mental health. You don't even think of the quality of your qualification, because if we're being honest, even if I were to go to DUT, Nelson Mandela, CPUT, at that point, the quality of the emergency medical care degree in those institutions, it's actually good, hey. But because of the institutionalism that has been installed in me, at that point I was like, no ways. And then until my friend Normand and Wendy were like, guys, Sisi, apply. They were already at CPUT. They had transferred Bona before me. So I applied, and even when I was applying, like, I didn't even take it too hard, because at that point I was like, you know what, I'm definitely going to take a gap year in 2024. Think about my life. Think about where I went wrong, because at this point, this is not what I wanted. And now I'm struggling. I wasted my 4 years of living for a degree that I didn't even get. And obviously now, like, it's been 4 years. People are expecting to see you saying, I'm about to graduate. Like, everyone is asking you when you go home. Everyone is like, when are you graduating? Your friends are graduating. When are you graduating? You know, when are you finishing? When are you getting paid? Like, oh, nah, you can start running. It's not that hard. Train. Stop eating junk food. Stop drinking cold drinks. Get a personal trainer. Go to gym. Do this. Like, everybody had an opinion on my life, of which I found so bizarre, because I'm like, you guys don't call me when I'm at race. I'm so depressed at race. I'm thinking of killing myself, but none of y'all are calling me. But now you have a 2 cent on my life, you know. Okay, fine. I then applied at CPUT and I was accepted. And when I got to CPUT, this was 2024. So in each and every institution, there's a thing called credits or exemption. Exemption is when they take the marks that you got at other institution and they credit it vis-a-vis the modules that are similar or are the same with the one they have. And in every institution, you can only get 50% of your credits, right? So I got my first year credits, all of them. Second year credits, I couldn't get all my second year credits. As I said, I had failed physical fitness at UJ. So now it meant that I had to repeat second year rescue. Not repeat, because I haven't done it. So I had to do second year rescue at CPUT. And then I did that last year. And I passed. But CPUT is good, actually. It's very good. My mental health was okay now. I was doing okay. But the lectures, they do listen. They put their effort. And you know, shocking or surprisingly, those things, the way your brain is, or if your brain is at peace, even your physical aspects become better. Last year I was passing my physical, and last year I had gained so much weight. I was weighing 64 kilograms. By the time when I was at UJ, I was weighing like 50, 52, 53. I was very thin. and I still couldn't run. But at CPUT, I was a bit chubby, and I was still making it on time because my brain was at ease. Like, I knew that the lecturers are trying their level best, and even the way they would speak to us or the way they would address us was okay. Like, it was nice. Fast forward, it's 2025. I'm now in third year. I'm in third year. Yes, get away now. Who's busy asking me when am I graduating? So now I'm in third year, and I'm at ease. I've never felt at ease like this, and as much as sometimes I do regret going to UJ, I also believe that I had to go through that so that I could appreciate when I get my degree, or so that I can also learn about inequality, so that I can also learn how to deal with other situations, social situations that you might find yourself in, and also to appreciate people like the lecturers we have at CPUT who go out of their way to ensure that your mental health is okay, who go out of their way to ensure that you get help. When I got to CPUT, the lecturers could have just been like, oh, that's another UJ student moving here, right? They could have just been like, that's another UJ student moving here. But they gave their all to ensure that I got all my exemptions. They made sure I didn't have funding last year because of the fact that I transferred and all of those things. So, like, I remember, like, around March, I already got like a part-time job as a student assistant. That's just one of the few things that the lecturers do to actually help their students. There were like food parcels, there was this and that. Like, there were so many things that I never thought in my entire existence I would find in an institution of higher learning. Because obviously, an institution of higher learning, you're taught that they don't care about you. They are there to lecture, they're not teachers. But then when I got to CPUT, I realized that actually lecturing is actually teaching an adult. It's being a teacher to an adult. There's nothing different. You can't be a lecturer if you can't teach. No ways. And I'm seeing it now when I look at my CPUT lectures. Those people genuinely care. They notice if you don't come to class. They notice if you're not okay. And they would ask you after class, like, are you okay? And you're like, my 4 years at UJ where I felt like I wanted to kill myself, I don't think any of those lectures noticed. Mind you, we were few in class at UJ. I think by the time I was in second year, we were 20. By the time I moved to third year, we were 10, 11. So there was no way they didn't notice. Here at CPT, we are a lot. In like my third year class, I think we're 40, and they still notice. So yeah, that is the story of my life. What I will say to someone who is doing first year or who's in matric, who's trying to go to it, like who's trying to apply for any course that they don't know of, is do your research. Do your research and look at the institution. Ask people, because the moment you ask people, people are going to be honest with you, especially for a black child. If you're applying to an institution for any qualification that is not popular, always ask people of color, or hey, how is it treating you? And they will tell you, because if there's also inequality, if there's also racial discrimination, all of those things, that will affect your performance. They will affect how you do things. So always research the institution. Look at how it treats people of color. Look at how they do certain things. And if you realize, hore, that's not a place for you, or you won't be able to handle it, don't go there. Don't try to be the one who wants to change the status quo. Leave it. Like, go get your degree, and you will find it when you got your degree. But if you're degreeless, the only highest qualification you've obtained is matric. Focus on getting a qualification. I swear to God, the people you're fighting for wouldn't care about you when you don't get your degree. They don't care. Some of them don't. Most of them don't, actually, if we're being honest. So go get your degree, and you can fight other things later. You can become a politician for like, hey, just get your degree. That is all I'm gonna say for today. I'm in third year, and it's not nice because my peers are all graduates, and I'm in third year. But also, I've learned that This is life. We don't pop at the same time, and I need to appreciate the finer things in life, like the fact that now my mental health is okay. My skin is good because I'm good. I take care of myself. I can go do my pedicure. I can go get get massage. All of those things. I can do them now. I'm at a better place in life. I view life differently. I view this course differently. So yeah, all I'm gonna say to everybody who's maybe feeling like they wanna give up, or who feels like they can't do this thing called life, move away from the situation, and after moving away, you'd realize that life is actually good. So bye guys. I hope you got a bit of insight of who I am, because that's truly who I am. I'm Chanel. This year you would get to know me better. Would go out, study and study and study and study.